Hello there, everyone. This is Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist, and welcome back to the Mad Science Lab podcast. Tonight, we will be continuing on with the My Tiers series, and here to do best ball wide receivers is Justin Herrera. Justin, thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to do this, and the Breaking Bad intro really got me hyped for this.
Yeah, it's great until they sue me when they find out. I've also had a few. I used to start and end the show with that intro and outro. The problem is TikTok mutes my videos because it's only allowed for 25 seconds, so I can only play it as my intro now. So
As my co-host would say, when they sue you, you know you've done something right,
yeah,
or
that's
at
fair
least you're
enough.
big enough, right?
Yeah, they don't sue little nobody. So if I'm at the point where I have to worry about Breaking Bad suing me, I guess I'm doing all right. So, Justin, you want to take a second here, tell everyone where they can find your work and what you do?
Yeah. So I write for Dynasty Pros and Going for Two, and I podcast on the weekly with TSS Fantasy and our sideshow TSS Dynasty Hour, where we talk Dynasty football. TSS Fantasy is more like along the redraft.
Do you ever, this is going to be totally off topic, you a South Park fan?
Oh, love it.
They have an episode where they make fun of the dog whisperer, and that's how I read your, what was the show you do?
TSS Fantasy.
See, when
TSS
I read it
Fantasy.
as tss, tss. So I'm like, I hope he says it first because I don't know if it's TSS or if it's tss as a joke. So now every time I see it, it's tss fantasy, but I'm just an idiot. So that
I
happens.
love it. I love it.
All right, it's a wide receiver one today, so I probably should stop fucking yapping and get right into this. Our first player is Devontae Adams. Where do you have him?
Oh, let's go elite. Come on now. Come on now.
Yippers. Yeah, that's an easy one. Despite his age, it's best ball, not dynasty. So let her rip again. I don't care who his quarterback is. Jordan Addison. Excuse me.
I'm gonna have him in the good section because I can feel like in best ball he's gonna have those pop weeks where it's gonna be like 40 points.
Absolutely, I could see that. They bracket coverage Justin Jefferson, and he just breaks loose for a couple of deep ones. I could absolutely see that.
100%.
Brandon Ayuk.
Great receiver, but for best ball fantasy, he's just good.
Yeah, seems a little more consistent than Addison, but not with nearly as high a ceiling, I think.
Seriously.
Keenan Allen.
Man, they just keep on piling the wide receivers there, so it's just becoming less and less likely that I want to take him. I think he's going to join Ayuk and Addison in the good category.
Yeah, with his age too and injury history, it's probably a safe play there. The
Right.
ultimate boomer bust receiver, AJ Brown.
Man, if he has the season that he had last year, oh man, I have to put him in that great section.
Yeah,
But if he has one more season like that, he'll be in the elite section for sure.
I was the AJ Brown guy for the first 2 or 3 years of his career. I have been burned so many times by missing key playoff games with injuries or putting up a 2. I cannot do it with this motherfucker anymore. I cannot be burned by AJ Brown. No, thank you.
Those were
He
the
is great
true
though.
boom bust years, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He'll put up like there's plenty of weeks where he'd win it for me. He'd put up 27 and I'd just fucking dominate. But then it seemed like, win to get into the playoffs or first round of the playoffs, championship game, 2 points or out with a hamstring injury. And I was just like, oh, fuck this guy. So,
Yeah.
Treylon Burks.
Oh man, he is totally bad. The worst last category. Hated him as a prospect.
All right, fair enough.
Not AJ Brown.
Jamar Chase.
Oh, elite all the way.
Yeah, there's no argument there in any format. Pretty sure he's the 1 or 2 in any list. Amari Cooper. And I always want to break Amari Cooper. Can I cut him in half here? I want to have an Amari Cooper in his home jersey and an Amari Cooper in his road jersey because they're two completely different fucking players. One might be elite and one is total dog shit. But on average, Amari Cooper, where do you have him?
You know what? What do you get when you put elite and dog shit together, you get somewhere in the middle. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put him on the good side of the middle instead of the average side.
We did one of these for redraft, and at the end of the list, I think it was like 90% of them were in good and average. There's a reason everyone waits and drafts all their running or wide receivers in rounds 4 to 8 because there's like 35 wide receiver twos this year. So Stephon Diggs, who will not be a wide receiver two.
I will go with great.
Fair enough.
Much
The
like
one
AJ
that
Brown, he just does not have that upside every single week.
yeah, definitely more consistent, but you're right, not as much upside. Then there was the one who I didn't know who he was, and in the last podcast, Jahan Dotson, didn't know that's what he looked like.
Yeah, very average. He's very average for me.
Yeah, he seems like he's a better redraft player. Like he's more consistent, but I don't think he has the upside. So you're right, average for best ball. Back to back Bucks here. Mike Evans.
Oh, Mike Evans, at this point, I can't disrespect all the work he's put in. I still kind of have to lean on the good side, even though I know who's throwing him the ball.
How frustrating is he last year? Every owner or every team who owned him was eliminated come championship weeks when he puts up 42 points. The ultimate fuck you to anyone who drafted him. Brutal. Chris Godwin.
He could join his buddy Mike Evans on the good side. He's just a little bit more of the consistent rather than the boom bust
Yeah.
good.
I think I'd probably rather have Evans, though, in best ball. I think you're right. Godwin's more consistent, but in best ball, I don't really care about consistency. Next up, we have T. Higgins.
T. Higgins. Let's go with,
Love it.
man, this is another. You're absolutely right. They all end up in the good or the average, don't they?
I
Oh,
think I
man,
have
so
T in
consistent.
great, but I'm high on T. Higgins.
He's so consistent. I do love it. I think that you're right. I think he has to go in the great category, but he's like the guy who's like riding the good, great line there.
I've said this. Where do you want him? Great or good?
Yeah, put him in the great.
I've said this a few times. I feel like there needs to be a bridge from elite to great and another bridge from great to good for guys like that, where they're even AJ Brown. I don't think AJ's quite elite, but he's a little better than great. So Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, elite.
Fair enough. Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood. Man, his quarterback situation just smells average to me. It just, I'm just,
This,
I
yeah.
want to put him in
Clayton
good,
Tune.
but I mean,
Yeah.
he's just average.
He always struck me as an oddball. And then I found out he's Antonio Brown's cousin, and I said, oh, that fucking makes sense. That explains a lot. What a whack job family that is.
Also, he's from Hollywood, Florida, not Hollywood, California. So
I didn't know there was a Hollywood, Florida. Good
Yes,
to
sir.
know. All right, former teammate, D Hop. Just I don't know, your best guess. Like if you have a team you think he goes to, you can grade him based on the team, or just in general, your choice.
So I mean, shoot, man, this is where it becomes difficult because this is a guy who's shown us nothing but injuries in the past. I want to say he's average, but part of me starting to see him turn into Julio Jones, so that's
Yeah,
kind of below average for me. So I'm gonna be the first one in the below average category for best ball.
can't argue that. This one's an easy one. Justin Jefferson.
I wonder where he goes.
Didn't even no explanation needed. That's him and Chase are the two easy ones. Another one that's not so easy here, Jerry Judy.
Oh, Jerry Judy, man, you kind of hope that Russell Wilson gets it right. I'm gonna put him as average right now, and he can ride that line of being good if he has a good season this year. I love Jerry Judy. Fingers crossed on that guy. Fingers crossed on Russell Wilson getting it right with Sean Payton.
All right, the next one is Deontay Johnson.
Very much average.
Very much average. All right. The next one, every single time I see this headshot, I think, why is Kyler Murray in the wide receivers? But it's Jackson Smith and Jigba, not Kyler Murray. So
I think he's gonna be pretty average this year. They're
yeah,
kind of waiting to push out Lockett for him to take over a huge role.
Fair enough. Christian Kirk.
Man. Uh, I guess it's 6-6. Add him to the average.
Add him to the average. Fair enough. Cooper Cup, an interesting one.
Oh, he's still elite. I mean, even with the
Yes, he.
ACL injury, who else catches balls
No,
in
no, no, no.
playoffs?
I've been arguing. I've had so many shares of Cooper Cup for this exact reason. It's not an ACL. It was an ankle injury.
Oh,
Everyone's
okay.
saying, "Oh, he's going to be out all half a year recovering from an ACL." So then I buy him, and then I'm like, "Yeah, it's an ankle injury, buddy, not an ACL." But thanks for the discount. So I love it though. I don't know why everyone says you're literally the 15th person who's been like, "Yeah, Cooper Cup from the ACL." So I just buy so many shares of him for that. But
So he
CD
broke his
Lamb,
ankle?
yeah, no, it was a high ankle sprain, and he was out 6 weeks, and then they shut him down at the end of the season. He could have played.
Oh, okay. Wow, yeah. That's a total buy right there.
Yeah, CD Lamb.
Elite.
Fair enough. I think he's another one with AJ where I think he's the bridge between the two, but Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett, man, he is the reason that best ball was created because he literally had 3 weeks that accumulated like what half of his
Yep.
fantasy points in one
Yeah,
season.
he did.
Oh my god. You know what? With Jackson Smith and Jigba being average as well, I think we can still put him in the average section. He can go join his teammate.
Drake London.
Drake London. Wow, another guy that I hated coming out of college. Um,
I just
I
hate
think
this
he's
offense. There's in best ball, I feel like there's no upside for a blow up game.
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, this is just an offense that just screams 2020 Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Tennessee Titans. Exactly.
So I'm gonna go with Drake London as a below average guy.
Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry. Oh man, that's an average guy right there.
Alrighty. DK.
DK, I'll put him in the great section. It's
I
crazy enough, but that talent is just unquestioned, and I think he's getting better every single year.
oh yeah, yeah. DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, you mean Stephon Diggs this year? I'm gonna go with good for right now, but I think you're gonna be calling him great next year.
You could I was like, Stephon Diggs, did I say the wrong? Oh, I get it. I get it. Took me a second. Well played. Chris Olave.
Thank you, sir. Let's go with Chris Olave being good, and he's teetering on great. Let's see what him and Derek Carr can do this year.
George Pickens. Do you
Man, I
get
want George
style
Pickens
points
to
in
be so
fantasy?
good. I want George Pickens to be so good. He's average for me right now.
Average, yeah. Unless you get the style points for one-handed catches.
I
Michael
wish that was
Pittman.
like a half point PPR if he could make an amazing circus catch.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael Pittman, he just screams very average, very
Yeah.
average. Can we have a category for very average? That's
I'm
Michael
gonna have to
Pittman
change
fantasy.
below average to just mid or very average. I originally had these titled a little bit more out there, creative, but I didn't.
Mm.
For some of my guests, they're on bigger shows and they have to kind of watch the language, so I couldn't have a clusterfuck tier or shit like that. But so you said average for Pittman.
Yeah, very average. Yeah.
It's all right. Calvin Ridley. There's no
Average.
DraftKings tier.
Oof, average.
Average.
Average
All
it
right.
out.
Oops. Debo.
Man,
I feel like he's a better play in best ball than in season, like regular redraft.
he's a great play in best ball. He always teeters between having like 4 or 5 games of injury and
Yeah.
then having 4 or 5 games where he just breaks out. I'll put him in the good section. He can go join Brandon Ayuk in good.
Devonta Smith.
Oh man, freaking, he can go join his teammate in great.
I
Devonta
agree.
Smith is
He's
on the rise.
I find I get a lot more Devonta Smith than I do AJ Brown. Similar production at about a 2-round discount, so I have a lot more of
Mhm.
Smith. I'm
Yeah.
on Ross St. Brown.
He's great as well.
He is great as well. Oh, do we have another addition to the bad? Cortland Sutton.
Oh, yeah, you could throw him in the bad. Man, that guy
And then at the
disappointed so
dumpster.
hard.
Yeah, he's terrible. Goes from 14 points a game without Judy, and then Judy's back, and it's 2 points a game. What a joke. Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle, you can put on great.
Yeah. Christian Watson, God, did he look like an alpha for about 8 games there? But I just don't know. Well, what do you think?
Oh man, I have a lot of Christian Watson. I drafted him heavy last year, thinking Aaron Rodgers was going to spend the last 3 years as the Packers quarterback. Now it's scary with Jordan Love. It really
That it
is.
is.
I'm going to put him in the good until he's proven different. Because,
Good.
like you said, those games were just like terrifying. That was
Yeah.
Chase Claypool to a different level.
Yeah. Mike Williams.
Average,
And our
super
final
average.
guy is Garrett Wilson.
Oh man, game breaker, game wrecker, gonna be in the elite section soon, but he's gonna be
Woo!
great for right now.
Okay, I was gonna say, ooh, that's spicy elite. I would have gone great, but yeah, that's where you went with it. So, all
Yes,
right,
sir.
let's do a quick recap here. For best ball wide receiver, the elite tier is Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek, CeeDee Lamb, and Cooper Kupp. The great tier, we have AJ Brown, Diggs, DK, Higgins, Devonta Smith, St. Brown, Waddle, and Garrett Wilson. The good tier, we have Jordan Addison, Keenan Allen, Brandon Ayuk, Amari Cooper, both Bucks receivers, DJ Moore or Stephon Diggs, whoever he is this week, Debo Samuel, Chris Olave, and Christian Watson. The average tier consists of Dotson, Hollywood Brown, Jerry Judy, Deontay Johnson, JSN, Christian Kirk, Tyler Lockett, Terry McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, George Pickens, Michael Pittman, and Mike Williams. We only have 2 people in the below average tier. That would be D Hop and Drake London. And our dog shit tier consists of 2, Traylon Burks and Cortland Sutton. As like I said, the thing that I notice here is you have what's that, 6 really, really elite players. Then you have you know, even the top end here is pretty deep. 6 elite. Then you have 6, what's that, 2, 4, 6 or 8 more, 8 that are pretty
Mhm.
high end. And then you have about 25 that are just in a one big clusterfuck here where they're all valued pretty similarly. But I guess that's why we draft so many wide receivers in the ranges of round 4 to 8 because it's so deep. Is there anything you notice here that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that you look at the great section right there, just about every one of those guys is teetering around 26 and
Yeah,
below. Outside of Diggs, obviously, I think he's only like,
yeah,
I think he's probably like 27, maybe
yeah,
28. But that's kind of like where it's going, right?
yeah,
That's like the stepping stool to the next level. A lot of these
yeah,
guys have it in them to be that next level. And you look at somebody like Devontae Adams, who might be phasing out soon. Tyreek Hill, who's already put in his retirement papers for 5 years down the line, and then Cooper Kupp, who we don't know. I mean, you said he had a high ankle sprain, and we
yeah.
don't know if that's going to be a reoccurring thing because obviously wide receivers with lower body injuries always seems to come up again. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that was a pretty cool list, and I'm gonna take that tier maker idea. That was a great idea. I love it.
Yeah, I like I said, I stole it from my buddy Jason Allwine over at Player Profiler. But thank you again, Justin, for joining me. You want to take another chance here? Tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Fantasy Sports Corporation Network. I do TSS Fantasy. I do TSS Dynasty Hour. You can see me short skits. I am the Fantasy Jesus. When I let down my long hair, I really do kind of look a little bit like the prophet. I'm not going to say it, but it's kind of in there. Check it out. And then if you want to check out some of my writings, go to dynastypros.com and go to Going for Two as well. That's where I babble on and on about what I think about the fantasy outlook for this year.
Love it. That's a green screen behind you, right?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get
AFC
is
Richmond, baby.
Oh, nice, nice. I'm like, I like that custom green screen. I never use one with mine. I find it my mouth is delayed. Yours, I haven't noticed any, but for some reason, I don't think my system's good enough, and I really notice a lag when I use the green screen. So, but I
So,
like
do
yours.
you
Yours looks
actually
good.
have a green screen?
Yeah, yeah. I don't have it set up right now,
Okay.
but I had a
Okay.
green screen and I uploaded some custom ones. But then I found even my buddy who I got this from, Jason, I noticed it lags too sometimes, and it was annoying the shit out of me. Yours is good, but I've had 2 or 3 guests where they've had the green screen and it's like their mouth is really delayed because it lags a lot. So yours
That's
works well
that's
though.
crazy. That's crazy because I actually used to use the custom setting with no green screen, and I had that same problem that you're talking about with the delays, and it kind of actually froze my like lagged my computer really bad. The
Yeah,
moment I got a good green screen is
yeah.
the moment everything changed. That's why I'm like clear right now. Like it changed
Oh,
the whole game, and I love it.
maybe I need to have because I have like a portable green screen to set up. Maybe I just need to go high end, but I don't really use it that much. So, all right. Well, this has been my tiers. We did best ball wide receivers with Justin Herrera. Once again, I am Aaron St. Dennis, the FF Mad Scientist, and this has been the Mad Science Lab podcast. Thanks again to Justin for joining me, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Have a good night.